Hey guys, it's Barrett with the Gimme Camper. We're going to set up our TireMinder 77 today. Got some extra sensors here, so that way we'll have a sensor on all 4 tires on the truck and all 4 tires on the camper. As most of you know, I had a TireMinder 66 system. Did a giveaway of one of those, and I had a second one. My dad's going to get that on his camper now because I've upgraded here. Now, full disclosure, I did not pay for this item. It was sent to me for my honest review and installation, and I was happy with the other product. This does appear to be quite an upgrade, so we're going to go through that. I'll tell you what I think about this versus the 66 system, and we'll get it on the truck today. We're getting ready to head out to Myrtle Beach State Park from southeast Tennessee. It's about an 8-hour drive. I figure I'd rather go ahead and get this on before we go. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take this thing out of the box. Already got the manual out, which I misplaced somewhere this morning, but I pulled one up online, so that should not be an issue. Now, this TireMinder 77 system, right off the bat, one thing that I can tell you that's better is the antenna here. So you don't have that little dinky aluminum antenna that you have to worry about bending or breaking. And so this is, you know, it's a better option. It's hard rubber, it doesn't extend or anything, and so it's going to be stronger. First thing we're going to do is power it on. So there's a power button on the top on this model. I'm going to push that, and it does power on here. See if we can get it to show that. This system does seem to be easier to install than the TireMinder 66. It seems to be, just from reading the directions, more intuitive. The other one was quite a bit counterintuitive as far as the way that it was set up. The other thing that's supposed to be better about this is the other one shows you the temperature or the tire pressure, and this is supposed to show you the temperature and the tire pressure of each tire at the same time. Now, the next step in setting this up according to the directions, which are important to read, because this isn't a no-brainer product, but like I say, it is easier to install than the other one. But the next step is to put the batteries in the sensors. And so to do that, you just unscrew the cap off the top of the sensor, and then you slide the battery in here with the positive side on the top. And there's a little positive sign right here on the top of that to remind you of that. Okay, so we're going to open this up a battery. TireMinder does do a good job at giving you extra batteries, but I think that these are going to last quite a while for this particular application. So these are the CR1632s. The plus is on the flat side here, so we're just going to slide that in right here, and then we're going to put the cap back on. When you put the cap back on, there's an O-ring around the base here. You don't want to tighten that too tight, just good and finger tight, and that'll keep the water out without messing it up. Okay, so that's all we do. We're going to do that 8 more times. My kit came with 6 sensors. I got 2 more sensors here. That way I'll have the 8 that I need. Now, before we continue with the installation, we're going to mount our booster. This booster is a little bit smaller than the other booster on the 66 system. It does have the same alligator clips. Those seem to be holding up pretty well, so I'm going to install it the same way as I have the other one installed, and we're just going to put it on our kingpin plate on our camper, and that way it's a good halfway point between the truck and the camper. Okay guys, so I decided to install this the same way I installed the TM66. So I just screwed that down to the bottom of the kingpin, and then I connected the wires just with the alligator clips that came on them. Seemed to do fine before. I just put the red on the constant 12 volt and the black on the ground. The next step is simply to run the wires out the side and put the cover back on. It's no big deal, easy breezy. Then you just bundle those wires up, put a zip tie around them, and hang it up with the rest of the wires there. Okay guys, so we got our batteries in our sensors, we got our repeater on, and so the next step is to have the system learn the sensors. And the way that we do that is we hold the up and down buttons for 5 seconds, and it should put it in learn mode. So we're going to hold it down for 5 seconds until it beeps, and then it shows an L here. As well as the L that shows up on here, you're going to see 22 different tires here of places you can put things, and you're going to have a red light here. that means that you're ready to learn where the sensors are. So for that, it's a pretty simple process. You just put the up and down arrows here until you move the blinking tire here to the position that you want it to be on, and then you screw a sensor onto that tire and it's going to automatically learn it. And then you're going to go to the next tire and you're just going to keep continuing that process. Okay guys, before you put these sensors on, you're going to want to make sure your tires are inflated properly. You're going to take the cover off, and when you take the cover off, you're going to get one of these nuts to lock it with, and you're going to screw it on there. And then after our wheel's in position here, then we're going to screw this on, and when we screw this on, this is going to turn green. Just like that. Then use the included wrench to tighten that nut against that tire sensor to lock it down so it doesn't come off and nobody can take it. Alright, so after we have all 8 of our sensors learned on here, then we hold the up and down arrows again. So the left and right buttons. We hold those again for a few seconds. And then it goes back into the M mode. After you go back into M mode, it's going to apparently give you low pressure warnings on everything because we don't have the pressure set yet. In order to set the pressures, we hold the center button down for a few seconds until a P pops up. Okay, and then we use the up and down arrows to change the pressure, and I would say the center button goes to the next one. So let's try that. Our front tires on our truck are 60 pounds, so we're going to change that to 60. So we're going to go down from 116. Okay, so we got 60 there. Then we're going to hit the center button and move to the next one. So that's the other front tire, so we're going to take it back down to 60. And that's going to take us to our camper tires, which max pressure's 80 on those. I usually leave them at 75. The best way to do that is to go across the cat scale and adjust them accordingly. But I leave them 5 pounds lower than the max pressure myself. I'm not recommending that, but that's what I do. So we're going to take it down to 75 on all 4 of the trailer tires. And then when we get done, we're going to hold the center button down again to exit pressure learning mode. Alright, so that's back to monitoring mode. And now it shows you which tire selected, and it shows you the PSI and the temperature for that tire. From the manual, you can set it to where it automatically scrolls through them all just so you can keep a better eye on it. But this is the kind of thing that, you know, you want to look at every now and then, but you don't want to constantly look at this thing. This thing has pressure sensors so that it alerts you to a slow leak or fast leak. It's going to get your attention, and so that way you don't have to constantly look at this. But I think that it's a very safe option, especially for longer trips, especially in the summertime when it's hot with the temperatures and stuff. And I'm pretty impressed with this product over the last model. You know, it's a pretty expensive product, but I think that it's very good quality. So I'm going to give you guys some updates as I use it. I'm just going to mount this thing in the truck, and then we're good to go on our trip today.
Do not forget to hit that subscribe button.